All right, welcome to the Star Spangled Podcast, the episode 4 of our first season. I've got Todd Angilly and Tim Parker here with me. How you guys doing today?
Doing great.
I'm Jay Sanagate. I'll be up in the producer's booth, switching the cameras. So we're going to start off with the holidays are over now. It's about mid-February, and we're thinking of all the things coming up: Motorcycle Week, July 4th, the summer in general. And we have to start preparing for these things. Now, I know when after a winter like this, we had so much snow this winter. I looked in the mirror and man, I'm like, I got to start here. I got to start with myself. So Todd, Tim is just, he's just too much of a wee guy. This ain't gonna work with him. I'm calling you out because you're very similar. You have a very similar physique.
Yes, physique. That's what we'll call it.
Yes. So I'm challenging you to a let's call it a
weight challenge.
Oh man, I didn't want to say it, Tim. Jeez, okay, but we'll call it a weight challenge. I'm challenging you to a weight challenge. So we're gonna go for the rest of this season.
Okay.
Which is another, I think, 10 episodes. We're going to do a weekly weigh-in. We'll start next week. So you got to start preparing yourself this week, and we'll do that weigh-in next week. Get rid of that water weight or whatever you got going on. I'm going to do the same, and we're going to do this together.
Okay.
All right.
I like that.
All right. Now, Todd, I was watching. I've been watching a lot of the Olympics, and there was a segment that reminded me of that segment we did in episode 2, where it kind of asked you about where you sang the anthem first. Now, they kind of asked all the athletes the same similar thing, but it was, where did it bring you back to when you won your gold medal? And all the stories, it felt like very similar to your story when you were talking about you were playing football back in Rhode Island, and they had you come sing the anthem at one of the football games.
Right.
All right. I don't know what you guys were doing Sunday morning, but I was definitely watching USA Canada Olympic game, gold medal game. Got the outcome that we were hoping for. Mm-hmm. Todd, how was your?
I'm going to tell you, my son, he's 12. He woke me up. We got up about 6:30, and we got breakfast going. And probably fitting for the weight challenge you just issued. That'll be the last time I eat breakfast like that. So we'll leave it at that. But we were nice and stuffed. And it was interesting. I thought about it on the way up here. I said to my son, you're 12. When they won in 80, I was 5. So I wasn't really, cognizant of what was going on, and I said, "You're witnessing history here," and it was a nice moment to sit there with my son, and then my wife, came home, and we were sitting there and watching the ceremony and all that. So, what a great experience just for everybody, I'm sure for them obviously, but for us as fans, as Americans, and to have that experience. And he's 12; he'll have that memory for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I still have the memory watching with my mom back when I was a kid.
Okay,
and it was great. She was so excited.
Yeah.
What a great memory.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's amazing that was 40 some odd years ago.
I think some 46 or something. Yeah. The
Unreal.
last time we won gold, and I say we, like I'm down there doing it, but yeah, last time
I
we
was just a
gold.
baby.
Yeah, right.
So we had some pretty amazing individual efforts in that game too. Certainly without Connor Hellebuck, they definitely wouldn't have won the game. He was just a curtain. He was an iron curtain.
Some of those shots that they slowed down with the the replay and all that. I mean, forget about getting the right bounces. I mean, he was just everywhere. I mean, without him,
some of those shots he must have been like calculating the speed and before they hit the puck.
Right.
It was just laser focused. He was there every time.
And these are the best players in the world, and
right.
He just stopped everything. It was incredible.
Yeah. It was amazing that you say they're the best players in the world, but I watch NHL games. I've never seen anybody go after some of that checking and all that. They were really taking this like it was very, very serious.
No, you're absolutely right. I think there was that intensity that you don't see in like all-star games or showcases where you have the best players in the world. I think they kind of they're concerned about their future, whatever it is, and these guys didn't hold back at all.
Definitely
at
not.
all.
Yeah.
And we can't, I gotta give props too to the women's team. I mean, we can't forget about them either. That was some great hockey all the way
Oh
through.
yeah. So, 4 of those girls are from New Hampshire. I'm hoping to. I'm going to try to reach out to their management and see if we can get them on the show here. That'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, think about how lucky we are in this region, New England. My son actually pulled his phone out and was looking up all the colleges, they came from. And I mean, just that influx of hockey players from the New England area that were on the Olympic teams. I mean, we're very lucky when it comes to that.
I actually went to school with Katie King. She was on one of the Olympic teams in the 90s.
Okay.
That won gold.
What else is there to do?
Yeah, right.
Nice. So, and Jack Hughes, we got to mention that as well. That was quite an amazing effort by him. He caused a foul. He got himself fouled, which was one of those hits I was telling you about. He got all his front teeth knocked out.
Yeah.
That last hit.
What a great picture, though, with the draped with the American flag, missing a couple of teeth, still can see the blood. I mean, kind of epitomizes the whole game of hockey right there. You get the blood, you get the missing teeth, and then let's add in a gold medal and the American flag. I mean, come on.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they brought out Johnny Gaudreau's children, and he had passed away. He was part of the, I guess he was part of this Olympic team.
I think it would have been slated to be on it, yeah. And plus, just being part of that hockey family, very highly revered, great talent, and, obviously lost too soon.
Right.
And I have to point out, because I tend to see these things, I don't know what it is, or I'm like over-analyzing or something, but they brought the kids down for the team picture, and they're holding them, and I looked like it was his daughter, and they're all holding their fingers up. Like number one, and they each had a shirt that had an American flag on it. They all put their fingers up, like number one, and she pointed to the American flag. I caught that. It happened, and I was just like, yeah, that was great.
What a good feeling that is.
Absolutely.
They all recognize.
Oh, yeah.
Unreal. So, Todd, last time we had talked about your story, your personal story. We talked about you were doing. Was it called The Voice of Plymouth? Is that the
I think
voice
it was.
contest you won?
Yeah, that's what I think. I kind of created that title. Whatever. I made mention about big fish in a little pond. Plymouth,
Right.
Plymouth, New Hampshire, Plymouth State being a smaller community, smaller college community, and it worked out.
Yeah.
As soon as word got out that I was singing at the football games and could do that and performing and things like that. And when anytime there was an event or an occasion. It seemed like people were reaching out, so I found myself, singing pretty regularly.
And that rolled in down to filling in at the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Some Revolutions games.
Mm-hmm.
And then you needed to survive during the winter. So you're like, I'm going to go bartend at the TD Garden, of course, right?
Yeah. What better place? Yeah.
So is that basically how that happened?
Pretty much. Well, I started in the kitchen, but yeah, because I've always worked in the service industry, and so I started in the kitchen, the sweets kitchen, and then it got to be. It was really convenient to be a college student, and I was in my graduate work. That I could go back and forth. Back then it was the Fleet Center, go from the Fleet Center to Fenway, and back and forth, and it was kind of like a network. And so for 2-3 seasons could do that, and worked really well with my schedule. And so that was. And again, looking back on that, what cooler work environment to be in. Let's either baseball or hockey and basketball. I mean, you kind of covered everything.
My job's pretty good, though.
Well, I will.
Yours is definitely better.
Well, in a different way, we'll say. In a different, we both, respect each other and and kind of look up to each other's situation here.
Maybe sometime we can switch.
I don't know if I can. Listen, I see the hold you have on the crowd here. I'm not so sure I could spin the tunes like that. But did I actually say spin? Like we're
the
using
stage
records,
is
right?
not the. Let me say, I know both you guys. The stage is not big enough for both of you.
Oh boy!
All right, too big.
Next question.
All right, so that's I've watched so much Olympics and have had so much emotion. About so much positive emotion about our athletes, our country. I really need something humbling, Todd. Do you have any recent memories or moments to share? Any humbling moments that are?
Yeah, I mean it's interesting the role of being the anthem singer, and there's always obviously the professional sporting events and being at the Garden and things like that. But there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of times when you have community organizations, whether it's students or the younger kids, and it really gives me an opportunity to be engaged in the community and see the other side of it. And so I get called on a lot to do, high school games or youth games. And there was a day where I actually had 3 appearances, and it ranged from a couple of younger, like I said, youth games in Massachusetts. And then I went down to, I had been sought after to do a high school senior night, which are very popular, a lot of the sports, but, most notably with hockey. So they'll do a senior night, obviously mostly towards the end of the season. And so what was originally booked as going to LaSalle Academy in Rhode Island, great school, great hockey program, and do their senior night. The student actually who had arranged for me to go down and appear, after booking, his mother had been really had been sick, and unfortunately had passed away. In between the time of booking me and then my appearance at senior night. So it kind of changed the outlook. They had a pregame ceremony for her. She was very engaged in the student community, in the hockey community, and also coincided with that horrific incident in Rhode Island that also happened. So Rhode Island's really feeling a lot of a lot of sadness, and so it always seems to. You think you're just going to roll down and sing the anthem and get everybody fired up. And it was interesting that they requested that during this pregame ceremony that I actually sing Ave Maria. All the players from both teams gathered at center ice and, stood in, memory and in honor of his mother. And it was something as I was singing.
How do you handle the emotion?
Exactly,
of the situation? It's
right?
Just like, I'd start choking up and I'd start crying in front of everybody.
Right, and then, it's you're absolutely right, and I'm going to be honest with you, not that I wasn't taking it seriously, but to kind of get myself through the situation, through the performance, so to speak, of singing Ave Maria. I was talking to myself like, in my head, all right, keep it together, keep it together.
You can do this.
Right, and then, I know what it's like to lose both my parents, and so I get it, but to think at such a young age and what a mature, I don't want to say professional, but I felt like, in my conversations with this senior, I was, he just was so stoic and so, it was just very, I was just very honored to be a part of it. But I was saying to myself, here I am standing on the ice singing Ave Maria. When have I ever done that before, And then you make that shift. We finished that and gave it a little silence, and then went right into the anthem, and it flowed very well. But I was very concerned that it would hit it correctly and be positive, and it worked out that the fans seemed to get a lot out of it, and you could tell that it really was a tight-knit community, and that she did have an impact, and that people really cared about her, and I'm sure as many others in that community. So it was a very interesting. I like to say, sometimes I'll say, there is hope in the world. The young kids these days, they're, I have 2 kids myself, and they're, kids are dealing with a lot of, it's social media or whatever it is, and to see these young men or young women, when I'm doing, the high school games, always, girls teams as well. It was very comforting to see this reaction from this young man, and so it was a great experience, and it was an honor for me. So it's always you got to be ready for any type of situation, and it was quite interesting.
Just when you think it's all falling apart, it all comes back together.
Yeah, I mean,
Makes
you're
you feel
right.
good.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And like I said, and whoever thought you'd be on the ice singing Ave Maria, and then to see the fans engaged, and the students as well, and it was just, it was very touching. And again, these are the experiences I get to have, and I consider myself so lucky and fortunate to have this very small role, but to be there and to know that this is what it's evolved into. When I first started singing, in this capacity. I thought it would just be, an anthem, and then that's it. And I don't think, well, I was about to say, I don't think people really understand. No, people do understand, because we here in New England are very, very engaged in our sports and very passionate. But it also, I feel, runs into, the other aspects of life and community. And that's what's so touching, that it pulls people together. And, there's a time when we get to be on the same team. You know what I mean? And then you go and
that's the whole thing right now.
Right.
I feel like there's such division being on the same team. We are on the same team.
Right.
you know? And that's getting back to the Olympics.
Perfect. Yeah.
I couldn't wait to watch the Olympics this year. But, and if I go and I talk to a lot of people about it, I see, I go watch whatever sport's on that night, and I go next day, what's at the top of my mind, and what I want to talk to people about. And I found that's a good way for people to join together. Our athletes performing, wanting to talk about it, seeing ourselves in their shoes, those sort of things.
Yeah.
It really brings the community a lot closer together.
Right. And Jay, that was the perfect segue when you said it like that. And we're on separate teams and we want to compete, and that's what makes us who we are and all that. But we also understand that there's a time when we have to stand together and understand the big picture. And and I'm not much of a, I like the commercial. Everybody says they look forward to like the Super Bowl for the commercials, and but there's a commercial going around, and I think it just hits it perfectly. I'm sure you guys have seen it, but like they show like
we're all on the same
yeah,
team.
right.
2
And
weeks,
then you see like the Celtics fan walking into the room, and there's people with Lakers jackets on, and they're giving them the hairy eyeball, or like Red Sox Yankees and this and that, and the next thing you know, they're watching the game together. They're and I just think that was perfect. I think it hit it right on the spot.
Yeah, all the fans come together.
That's it.
Sometimes you want to look at your opponent and just have as much passion as possible for them, and it's not always negative.
Right.
People have to understand that when you're, when you're engaging with somebody, even if you're engaging with them in a, in a manner that's competitive, it's it is great for the community. It is great for yourself. It improves yourself, improves the other person, and improves the community too.
Right.
And we can't lose sight of that. We cannot lose sight of that. It can't become about politics. It can't become about, past vengeances or any, past losses or anything like that. It's about the competitive nature at that moment in time, at that point in time.
Yeah. And again, going back to, like I said, with my son, I saw it in his face. He was so excited. What 12-year-old during February vacation wants to wake up, and here he is, 6:30 in the morning. He's like, we're going to have breakfast. We're going to watch the game. He was so fired up and ready to go, and I just thought that was great. And he's texting back and forth with his friends, and they're all engaged. It was
now,
great.
Has he been engaged with the Olympics or sports, all along, or is he coming into it?
No, he's like I said, he's 12, so I think he, I've always got the Olympics on, so we might have. I don't really remember, and I don't know if that's a good thing. I mean, watching the last one, but what's cool is he wrestles, and so he loves it. So we've been kind of preparing for the Summer Olympics when they do the wrestling, and he's looking forward to that. Nice. And then I didn't know this. I actually, so apparently there's going to be, or at least according to him, maybe he's just pulling. Is there going to be flag football in the Olympics?
Yes.
Or something? Yeah.
I saw them starting to promote that.
Yeah. So he's telling me about that. But to see that, like, he's just so fired up and passionate about it. So I know that we're going to be glued to the TV, in the summer.
Excellent. All right, Tim, we've got a lot of events coming up pretty quickly here. Wake the Lake, we got coming up in May.
Yep. Yeah, May 15th, 16th, and 17th. Wake the Lake.
Yeah, that's 4 stages.
4 stages, yeah. We'll have bands, DJs, vendors. It's going to be a great time. It's a block party. Yep. Wake the Lake, May 15th, 16th, and 17th.
Yeah, we've been doing that for about 9 years now.
Yeah, we're on a roll.
So looking forward to that.
Yeah. And Todd, you're going to be there. We got Annie as well. Is Annie
the Annie Brobes band. I'm going to be helping her out a little bit with that fantastic talent. So looking forward to that weekend.
Excellent. What else we got?
And then we got Bike Week.
Oh, yeah, 2 weeks later, right?
103rd Bike Week right here at Laconia Rally.
103.
And that's bands all week long, right?
Oh, yeah.
So for
Bands
that
start at
one,
noon.
that one we got 3
13th.
different stages.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have a dedicated stage to EDM, like house music type of thing, and then we're gonna have 2 other stages dedicated with bands.
Right. We're going to have a wide variety of all kinds
Yeah.
of entertainment. It's going to be an amazing
Nice.
week.
Yes.
That's June 13th through the 21st.
Okay.
And Todd,
Also,
we've got you coming up on Tuesday
Yeah.
to do a bike week to do the hill climb.
Yes.
Just outside. We do that.
We're going
yearly.
to sing the hill climb.
We're going to sing our way up the hill.
And a little shameless plug, I am so excited for Bike Week, bringing up my brand new 2025 Street Glide. Right now it has 11 miles on it.
Nice.
6 of them I put on during the test ride. So I will be up on my bike right here at the big house.
You going to let me try it?
You? Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm sure you're not going to let too many people.
No.
I'm going to do a
Nice.
burnout for sure.
Show me how it's
I'm
done.
going to smoke it.
I am so fired up for that week.
Nice.
All right. And then you want me to go to the Chanel West Coast is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
going to be here Saturday, June 27th.
That's the week after Bike Week. So it's
That's
the
the weekend.
Saturday. We've been doing this with Chanel for about 3 years now. And it would be great to get you out there if you're around. But
Let me tell you,
get the 2 of you together.
I got to start looking into some real estate. I think it's time to get a secondary home up here, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's our biggest karaoke competition. That's
Yep.
I call it the summer competition, but it's now become the Chanel West Coast
Okay.
comp.
No, I got a gold ticket. Am I able to save it for that one?
Sure, absolutely. But you have
All
to
right.
get a platinum ticket, which platinum
Oh.
ticket rounds start May 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
he's going to be here for that. If we can get him to stay for the platinum round on that Saturday.
Well, yeah, he's going to move up here, so.
Yeah, right. By then, the real estate market is hopping right now, so we should be able to. Yeah,
If not, you can sleep on the stage. You got a sleeping bag back there, a
Nice.
pillow, whatever.
absolutely.
What do you got next, Tim?
We got, let's see, Bike Timberfest, one of our favorites.
Yes.
It's like a
so-
bike week in the fall.
Okay.
It's like a fall rally.
When's that?
That's in September 11th, 12th, and 13th.
We're gonna take a look.
It's
at
another
that.
block party as well.
Okay.
4 stages. Multiple, we have bands all for the 3 days there. It's kind of like the Wake the Lake, but it's kind of like it's kind of if the block party of our fall rally. It's kind of
Okay.
like the Wake the Lake, but it's
More biker centric.
more biker centric. Yes,
Okay.
well.
So I gotta ask. I know you guys have homes and lives. Do you really get to go home? Do you guys really sleep? How are you?
I was trying to this morning, but
I'm
Personally,
telling-
I don't.
this guy
Woof.
But Tim,
texted me.
Tim's
the
got a
producers texted me like, "Are you up?"
There is. Forget about me in the
I just
sleeping
shut that
bag.
phone off.
You know this is.
we were actually doing the logistics of the storm coming in. We didn't know if you were actually going to make it here or not today.
Yeah.
We
Oh, yeah.
did, but it's coming.
No.
It's coming a lot later. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now right into
But
that
yeah,
on the way home.
to answer your question, I sleep as much as I can. Sometimes it's until 2 or 3 in the afternoon, but I
Okay.
get up and then
And then
freshen up and head back to the stage.
The life of a DJ.
I'm going to tell you
Rockstar.
because if you haven't been here before, you got to get up here and experience the big house because this is. There, you guys could have an event. You guys say, "Oh, this weekend we're doing a knitting circle," and I'm gonna be like, "I'm here, I'm there. Where do I sign up?" Because it's gonna be a great time. You guys make everything a great time up
I
here.
appreciate
too
that.
kind.
I'm telling you. So I'm
kind.
no, I mean it. I mean, come on.
So we're also this year. We did it towards the end of last year, but this year we're gonna. This will be our first full year of doing line dancing. We're gonna be line dancing every other Saturday at 6 p.m. with Kathy from Granite Street Stomp, and she is just an amazing instructor, line dancing instructor.
Yep.
Okay.
We do country nights, so we play a lot of. We call it country nights. We do a lot of. It's a country theme. So the
Okay.
music, the atmosphere, the food, the drinks, everything very country oriented.
Well, in the interest of the weight challenge, maybe I should be doing a lot of the line dancing, get a little
Oh,
more
yeah.
active,
Yeah,
right?
we're gonna have Kathy at. I'm talking to Kathy right now. We're booking her for Motorcycle Week, and she's gonna get some preemptive line dances going when the bands aren't playing. So when the bands take breaks, she's gonna get line dancing going at each of the stages. So
Not going to let anybody take a break. People,
We're
it's
gonna-
going to be constant, consistent.
it's
I
gotta be,
love it.
gotta be.
Love it.
we'll get you line dancing then.
Okay.
All right. So I think we're gonna wrap. Unless anybody wants to bring anything else up. Anybody got any other?
Not, I just can't stop promoting and telling people to get up here. I'm really looking forward to Bike Week, and Wake the Lake is going to be great. Armed Forces Weekend. I think it's on Saturdays. Armed Forces Day. I'll have to put that in May, but there's some great events coming up, and get it in your calendars right now. Block it off. I did.
The Wares Beach sign is 70 years old.
70 years old, yeah.
70.
Yep. Part of the dedication that we're doing on 4th of July. So it's 4th of July events starting to solidify now.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be about God, country, and family.
Love
for God, we're going to actually have a pastor. We have a church. We live in, sorry, I shouldn't say we live. The big house, right behind the big house, is a church. So we've asked them, we have a really good relationship with them. We've asked them to come and bless the Weirs Beach sign for the next 70 years, because it's 70 years old, and we've asked them to come and bless the country for the next 250 years. So that's going to be the representation of God, and they're gonna come and do a sermon, one of the pastors, and then for country, we have you, Todd. You're gonna come. You're gonna do the anthem.
Sure.
And to represent family, we're gonna have the governor and the mayor come out and just discuss the town and the state and the future and the past, all coming together to kick off the 250th celebration of the United States of America.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the front door right here. What you guys do is not only inside. I love that you bring this out in the community, that you're so inviting, having the governor and the mayor and this community aspect of it. You just don't see a lot of that. A lot of people like to keep their business in the business there and whatever it is, and you guys are just so engaging, and it shows when you have these events and the place is packed and everybody's having a great time,
Getting back to
it's
just,
all about.
it's bringing everybody together.
Right.
And, 250 years doesn't come around more than once,
No.
In somebody's lifetime. It doesn't even come around for some people at all.
Mhm.
The first,
Yeah.
So 250 it's a pretty big mark for a country, and we really just need to look at the past and reflect upon that and get together and plan the future. All of us get together, and just make it happen.
Love it.
So that is going to be a wrap today, I think, guys. I really appreciate you coming out, Todd. And Tim, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
Yep. And we'll see
Thank
you
you,
soon.
Tim.
Thank you, Todd.
All
Thank
right.
you. We'll talk to you soon.
You got it.